From the University of the Ozarks. It is October 30th, 2020. It's right at 11 a.m. My name is Rich Dunsworth. I serve as the university president, and starting a few months back, started doing regular updates on how things are going here at the university, specifically around COVID. And since then, we've expanded it to include other topics. So if you're with me live, thanks for joining us. If you're not with us live, well, thanks for tuning in at a later date. For those of you that are live, feel free to type questions in, and as we close out the 4 or 5 topics I wish to address, I'll address those questions in real time. For those of us who watch it later on, it's okay to also add in questions, and that the members of the staff check in and monitor it over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And if the question hasn't already been answered in the comment screen, they'll chime in and answer those questions. So again, welcome, and thanks for being with us. So let's start by talking COVID-19 and the pandemic and where we are. If you haven't had a chance lately to go to our homepage and click the yellow bar at the top that says COVID-19, if you haven't done that lately, please do. If you click it, you're going to see a nice picture, and then below that you'll see statistics, you'll see numbers, and you'll see not only where we are right now, but you'll see live data day by day by day. And I think you're going to find that information is really helpful. You're also going to see, if you go below that, you'll see local and state information as well, so that you can see, well, how are we trending here in Clarksville? How are we trending here in Johnson County? So, short is, we've had some bumps in the road the last 10 days, and we saw numbers start coming back up. Nowhere near our peak numbers early in the fall, but we saw some numbers coming up. So here's what the numbers look like as of right now. We have 4 positive faculty and staff. We have 5 positive students. And in total, we have 38 people either in a degree of isolation or quarantine. We have 4 faculty staff isolated. We have 5 students isolated. Those are the positives. And then we have 3 faculty staff that are quarantined and 26 students that are quarantined. There have been a few questions that have said, hey, if you've got faculty and staff with that high in numbers, is it possible you have more people, more students infected than you realize? And the general response is, we don't think so. And the reason why we would say that is the spike in positives in faculty and staff were staff that don't have significant interactions with students. That was in maintenance, that was in facilities, that was in custodial. We do have a couple of faculty. One that was out for a little while is now resting at home. That caused us a great deal of concern. But working through course schedule and the like, the concern was simply for his safety, and it did not extend to our students because there were no infections there. So know that we're continuing to manage it. Know that we continue to move people in and out of quarantine as necessary, and that we appreciate the support that we're receiving from everyone, saying, hey, thank you for keeping us informed. Thank you for taking care of us. I received a really nice note from a mom last week saying, my son screenshotted me all the stuff he got when he moved into quarantine. Thank you. And for anybody that hasn't heard us talk about that in the past, we treat quarantine almost like a hotel. You leave your stuff where it is. You check into that space. We've got you covered from a linen standpoint. We've got you covered from a little bit of a care package. You get a couple of business cards of who to call if you need things. And it really is, we need you quarantined. We need you not moving so that we can see if there are extra or additional people that that we need to pull into that space. So that's where we are as it relates to COVID-19 presently. As we move forward, you all know that the third week in November, the week before Thanksgiving, we will pivot 100% online. We're asking all of our residential students to leave campus, and we'll close campus down. If you work with a student that looks at you or says, but I just can't, there are releases. If they're a member of our Walton International Scholars Program, they're expected to talk to Miss Jennifer Amata. If they're an international student that's not with Jennifer, they talk to Miss Nicole England, the Director of Student Life. And if they're a current residential student, they talk to whoever their area coordinator assistant director is, which is either Mr. Tyler Mosby or Miss Janae Williams. So if you have a student that says, but I can't pivot and go 100% online from home the third week in November, talk to one of those four people. And those four people have great broad discretion to make those decisions. Great. So then we'll kind of shut down campus, bring things to a screeching halt, do a deep clean from December to January. Then we reopen the halls January 23rd and 24th for new and returning students. So that's the plan. We're pretty pleased with how things are going, and we're optimistic that we're going to continue to weather this storm. All right. And when I say weather, it's my assumption we're going to be weathering this for a while. And I take that assumption from the different medical professionals that we talk to, the different doctors that are either on our board or alums, and going, you need to keep working to crack this nut. We're going to be living with this for a little while, and I think we are. So now let's talk about some non-necessarily COVID-related things. Registration. It is hard to believe that this semester is so far along that registration opens on Monday. Registration is tiered: seniors first, then juniors, then sophomores, then freshmen. And then also within each bracket, different groups of students get started. If you're working with a freshman or sophomore, do whatever you can to take the energy out of registration. The perception that there are going to be no classes, or the perception that they're somehow last and that's a bad thing, they're going to be okay. We don't want seniors and juniors taking freshman level courses. So those freshman level courses and sophomore level courses are generally for the students who need them. And all of our seniors know that I recommend them, don't lighten up there at the end. You still need to be taking the 3s and the 4,000 level courses. So know the registration opens up. It'll run over the next couple of weeks, and that it's our hope by the time everybody pivots and does their thing, they've got their spring schedule. They know what's going on with housing. They've got what they need, and they're good to go with as little excess drama and energy as possible. So a couple of other things. We've reopened campus kind of, and I want to do a clarification on this because we've had some confusion. When I say we've reopened campus kind of, we've started allowing for some campus related events. Student organization events can do things in the mall. They're doing a trunk or treat Halloween. They're doing different kinds of events, as long as everybody's got a mask and we socially distance and we do our thing. As it relates to athletics for the rest of this semester, we're doing some inter-squad competitions. Those inter-squad competitions are campus only. All right? Well, but I'm a parent and I want to come watch the scrimmage. We've improved our broadband capabilities. We've invested in our abilities to live stream. And for this semester, we're asking parents, friends, cousins, best friends, whatever you might be, please do not come to the games and watch them live. Well, why is that? We're in the last 3 weeks. All right. that we want to have people as safe as possible before we send them home to you. And it is our fear that if we have parents, friends, family coming to and from campus here in these last 3 weeks, that we're actually putting all of us at risk, and we're especially putting your winter holiday at risk. So, stay the course with us just a little bit longer, watch online, and please do not come to those scrimmages. Now, for those that are wondering how we're running those scrimmages, I went to soccer this last weekend. One of our coaches, Coach Gentry, was game day. He's standing at the gate with a temperature gun. He's checking every student as they're coming in. He's checking me. You get oriented. Here's where you can sit. Here's where you can't sit. You have to be socially distanced, and you have to wear your mask. And it's very straightforward, fairly methodical, and that's how we're going to continue it for the for the fall semester. Well, what does that mean for the spring when the American Southwest Conference is going to open up and do winter sports and spring sports and play the fall sports that we didn't play in the spring? We're working through all of that now. And when I say we, that includes the presidents of the American Southwest Conference, as we're getting advice from a special task force that's working on this. It's primarily our athletic training staff and some of the staffs that have medical staff. And we'll be working through, when can I come to the games and what can I or can I not do? This is where I get in trouble, because I'll tell you our current thinking, and then I'll ask you not to hold me to it if something changes. The current thinking is, let's say for basketball, that each campus would work with their local health department and go, what is your maximum capacity? And if your local health department, based on what's going on within your given construct, remember we play in 4 states, if you're at 25% capacity, 30%, 50%, that we will work, and then we'll communicate that with our opposing team and say, here's what we're allowed to do. We're allowed to have 50% of the normal capacity. What does that mean? Does that mean that we then might need to ticket? Does that mean we might need to give preference? And know that the general conversation is preference is going to go to the player and his or her family and support system so that they can see that young person play. No, that's the mindset that we're going into the spring, is that we're going to have competition athletics, that we will allow folks to watch us, and that there may be some restrictions. The other piece that I would say about athletics is that the NCAA announced this week that regardless of what goes on this year, that the student will not lose a year of eligibility for these seasons, for whatever they might play or not play. So know that they're working to try to make things as fair as they can in these trying times. That's what I wanted you to know. And that's what I wanted to share with you, that it's been raining in Clarksville. I know the last few weeks I told you it was a gorgeous, beautiful day. The last couple of days have been rainy, wet, but it is sunshine. And for those of you who may not get to see fall, fall is gorgeous here. The sad thing is that most of the leaves are now on the ground. So, but it is a beautiful fall day on campus. Thank you for everything you do to support and care for us. So with that, I'm going to see if we have any questions. We don't at the moment, so I'll give folks a quick second or two to pose any if they have them. That I couldn't be more proud of the campus community and the ways in which we've come together. I know that our students miss being in more personal situations. I've mentioned that we've been adding outdoor seating and adding the kinds of spaces that will allow them to safely come together, and know that it's a step, and that we look forward to and long for those opportunities where where, we get to shake hands on the mall and we get to hug our friends. But for now, we're staying true to the objectives that we laid out 6, 7 months ago, because they're serving us well, and that we think that we're in a great position to continue to weather the storm of COVID-19. There's a question about any update on the lockdown yesterday. For those that may not know exactly what we're talking about, that we have alert systems. It's called Everbridge for a student. They can download it, and if something happens adverse in the community, they get notified. Yesterday, early evening, there was an incident downtown, right near the police station, where a car was stopped, and 3 gentlemen got out of that car and were apparently armed and took off towards campus. So we locked down campus and asked everybody to shelter in place. The situation was deemed to no longer be of risk to the campus a little bit after 10 o'clock. Or actually, I think it was closer to 10:30 last night. From that, I do not have an update after that, other than that our security staff, working with the chief of police, determined that we were good. Please know, when I say chief of police, it's a University of the Ozarks alumnus, and that our director, Mr. Larry Graham, and the chief have a great working relationship, and it allows us to feel really comfortable in these kinds of spaces, that if the chief says you've got a problem, we simply believe him. And if he and Larry say we're all clear, we choose to believe them in that space too. So know that we're pretty comfortable, and that's about it. All I can share for now. Great. Any other questions? No, folks. That I'm going to end this the way I've ended it now for months. Offer a prayer for Ozarks. Offer a prayer for our leadership. Offer a prayer for the country as we go into next week, and know that I'm continually praying that medical professionals are going to find a solution, and then hopefully we can manufacture that solution as quickly as possible, and undo some of the things that we've done over the last 7 months. But until then, we're going to stay the course, and we're going to continue to deliver on the mission of this amazing, amazing institution. So God bless, take care, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye-bye.